Welcome students. Today we are going to discuss techniques of scientific management. The techniques which we are going to discuss today are: first is motion study, second is time study, third is differential wage rate study. Let us first discuss the motion study. This is nothing but the study of movement of workers while doing a job. Now let's say I am a manufacturing unit. Now this unit produces the butter. Let's understand in the way the Amul butter bar of 500 grams you have been seen. All I need to do is wrap that into the paper and then put it into the box. Now will it make a sense if I am standing at the opposite end compared to the machine, which is giving me the square bar of the butter or cube of the butter? No. Obviously I need to place myself near the machine because time of collecting the butter, putting it into the paper, it will get saved. Similarly, when it comes to the other manufacturing unit, we need to study the movement of workers when they are doing the task. Taylor came up with the three different types of movement, that is, first is productive movement, second is unproductive movement, and third is incidental movement. And what was the objective of doing this study? It was just to eliminate unnecessary movement so that the time is saved. He, along with his one of the associate, what he did was actually went and studied, and then he reduced the bricklaying process in his company from 18 to just 5. Initially the process required 18 steps, but because of this motion study he brought it down to 5 steps. Apart from that, what Taylor did, he had invented stopwatch and various symbols and colors to identify different motions. Suppose you are hired as a production manager in a company, so you can actually use these symbols, you can use these stopwatches and colors to understand what the motion is, and based on that you can decide if the motion can be improved. That is, based on motion study saves more time of worker. So the motion study helps them to design the equipment and educate the workers on that, so that again the time and the cost can be saved. The next study he did is time study. Now this study is about how much time the worker take is to do the particular job. For example, let's take a McDonald example. The French fries, when they are fried, let's assume it takes 5 minutes. So they have the standard 500 grams of French fries. When they are putting it into the oil, it exactly takes 5 minutes to get crispy French fries every time, which is to be served. So time study is nothing but understanding how much time a worker takes to complete a particular task. Time study determines the standard time to be taken for a particular job, so we can use different measuring devices to understand the time which has been taken by the worker to complete the particular job. It helps in deciding fair day's work. For example, if I have complete a task and I have observed that whenever the worker has been given that task to produce, for example 10 units, he takes 1 hour. So if he is working for 8 hours, he will be able to produce 80 units. If worker is works for 26 days, so he will be able to produce 2080 units. So here you can estimate work in days. Now you have a standard here. Now you know that every worker should produce 80 units per day. If a worker is producing more than 80 units, you can recognize that worker. If the worker is producing less than 80 units, you need to understand what is the reason for delay. Time study helps to decide incentive schemes and also the labor cost. For example, if my target is to have 4,000 units in a month, so in that scenario, because I know a worker can complete 2080 units in a month, means we require two workers. So all these studies can be done and the cost can be determined using time study. Now next comes differential wage rate system. This is also one of the technique given to us. It differentiates between efficient and inefficient worker. As I told you, if everything is all right, the workers is required to produce 10 units a day. We are continuing with the same example. Now let's say we have worker A producing 12 units and worker B producing 10 units. So when you have a differential wage rate system, you can reward worker A who produces more units than standard units by giving him bonus or by giving him the wages for the extra unit he had produced. Differential system must be based on the premises that the efficiency is the result of joint efforts of the manager and the workers. Generally, what happens is when the managers are there, they keep on motivating the workers to provide more units by telling them that they would get a bonus for the same. And what happens here is the system pays the worker based on the work it has done, not on the number of hours it has put in the factory. Hope students, I made myself clear to you and keep on revising the topics. Thank you.